a few more folks on, and then we can talk through, our preview or what we think is going to happen this AFCON in Ivory Coast. It's a pleasure being on. Um, so let's see, maybe give it a minute or two, and we can start. Okay, it's 12:40. I think we can start. We have quite a few folks on already. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. I'm Nico. The African Cup of Nations is upon us again. And this time, the eyes of the world are peeled on Ivory Coast, where for about a month, or just about, right, the CAF is going to be hosting or putting on its biennial football panorama. And it's an exciting and quite possibly the coolest international tournament in the world. And, African football has amazing energy, amazing talent. And that's why a lot of these European teams come to Africa to get the talent that we have, right? Um, and of course, who can forget? The AFCON always gives us the best memes. Remember the referee who stopped the game before 90 minutes. So those are all the storylines that come with African football, and AFCON does not disappoint. AFCON does not disappoint. So this year in Ivory Coast, we're really excited. There's going to be a lot of surprises, and I'm sure many of you will be shocked to realize that some teams that you're expecting will perform really well will not do as well at all. I'm not going to mention Algeria and Ghana of the last few tournaments, but um, with me today, I have Stevo Ajab, Stevo Asong, who is also known as Ajab. Stevo, say hello to the guests.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thanks for
Uh,
joining.
and none other than Eno Ayukeba, who is also known as Tru3lion. Tru3lion, how are you, gentlemen?
I'm fine today. How you guys doing?
Doing
I'm
quite
doing great. I'm
well.
doing great. I'm doing great.
It's a pleasure to have you guys. Man, I've missed this thing. I've missed it. We've talked about football so many times. We've talked and chatted on our WhatsApp channels. We go back and forth, a lot of banter. But we thought, we'd come to you today in this forum, nicknamed the Football Trio, as you can tell the name of the show. And it's the inaugural episode, and we will be talking you through our predictions for the AFCON tournament. It's such a great opportunity to do that, and a lot more. Right, this will be a guided conversation with a lot of fun, talking about football with these two amazing football savants. They are truly football savants. They know a lot of stuff about Cameroon football. So, brief overview. AFCON this year in Ivory Coast, 24 teams, six groups. Top two teams in each group goes through to this round of 16, and then three best three finishes, right, go on to join them, and then that's the second round. So let's talk, gentlemen. Let's begin with Group A, right? Talk about what you have, what we can expect. Tru3lion, do you want to take this away?
I'll let Ayab start on that.
So, so Group A has Ivory Coast, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, and Nigeria. Um, I mean, historically, the host team in the AFCON has always done well and has always gone to like the second round, right? So, who do you think is going to lead this group and why? And what should we expect? Steve, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tricky group. Lots of people think by default Nigeria and Ivory Coast are gonna make it, which to me they kind of make sense. But I'm gonna focus more on who's gonna be the winner of that group. I think Nigeria has all what it takes, despite the fact that they're losing Sadiq Ahmed and Victor Boniface and Wilfred did two injuries. They do have a plethora of talents. But I'll go for Ivory Coast to win the group. I think Ivory Coast is going to have maybe a one or two goal advantage over Nigeria. So I'm looking at Ivory Coast topping the group with 7 points, but they'll have like one or two more goals over Nigeria. The fact being that Nigeria, like I mentioned, they have what it takes. They have like a super front line, but I think there will be a tie between Nigeria and Ivory Coast. Both of them will win the two games
Mhm.
between Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau, but both of them are going to tie. So I look at Ivory Coast finishing top of the group, 7 points with maybe plus 4 goals.
So,
Nigeria coming second, plus 3 goals
so you're picking Ivory Coast and Nigeria to go through in
to
this
go
group.
through. Yeah, in this group.
Lion, do you agree?
We all know what he can do,
Oh,
but Nigeria doesn't have a good enough defense, and their goalkeeper is also not good enough.
yeah.
So that midfield needs to work really hard. I've seen Iwobi in recent games. He can actually lead, try to link up that midfield with attack. Ivory Coast, they have a good coach. They are motivated, 12 men. And today, that opening game, let's see what happens. Either we see nerves, or either there's gonna be maybe an upset. Why not a draw? So, but logically, yes, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and I believe a third team can come up from this group.
from this group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, home advantage is always a plus. So, I mean, when you look at it, Ivory Coast most likely tip to go forward because, like you said, today might be nerves, but then home advantage can push them over. But then there are teams in this group that you cannot take for light for granted, right? Things like teams like Equatorial Guinea. I
Yeah,
mean, Equatorial Guinea has had one of the best runs in the last few tournaments. They've beaten Mali, they've beaten Algeria in the past
yeah, yeah.
year, so it's quite interesting, right? I
Mhm.
mean, like you said, I think I agree. The third best person can come out of this group to the second round.
Yeah, and it's yeah. Equatorial Guinea finished second in the group for the qualifiers. The team that had Tunisia as top, they both ended with 13 points, but Tunisia had a goal advantage. If you, I think eight, Tunisia had +10, and Equatorial Guinea had +2 goals. So it's a team to watch out for. I was just going by default that the two top teams are going to win, but yeah, they're losing. Nigeria is losing Wilfred Didi, which is it's a key player. If you notice, since Wilfred Didi has been missing from Nigeria during the qualifiers, both AFCON and World
Okay.
Cup, when you see Onyeka pairing up with Iwobi, it's never the same when you have Wilfred Didi there.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I just think that Victor Boniface and Sadiq, the injuries they have is going to be a blessing to Nigeria, because Nigeria in that Nigeria has been focusing so much on trying to satisfy all the attacking talents they have, trying to put them in all at once. So they focus on a double strike force and wingers in some cases, where you have Ayana Cho, who is a striker, also playing on the left wing. But with this injury to Boniface and Sadiq, they can start with a lone striker and two traditional wingers, which will give them more options.
That
So
should be
that's another thing to notice with Nigeria.
that should
That's
be a fun watch. That should be a fun watch. Okay, so your predictions for Group A: Nigeria or Ivory Coast because of home advantage, Nigeria, and then anyone between Equatorial Guinea
will
and
be okay. I think
Guinea-Bissau.
I'll go for Equatorial Guinea.
Okay, Equatorial Guinea. All
Yeah.
right,
I'll
Tru3lion,
go for Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau. Okay, all right. So let's move on to Group B then. Let's move on to Group B. Group B has Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, and Mozambique. Um, Ghana didn't impress in the last one, and Mozambique. Each time they've come to the Nations Cup or the Afcon, they have not really done well. They've always left in the group stage, so I don't think they will do anything. There will be no surprises there. They will be fourth. But how do you see it? Egypt, Ghana, and then Cape Verde, or what's your order? What's the order?
I believe Egypt, Ghana, Cape Verde, Mozambique finishes last in that group.
Okay. Do you
Same.
do you necessarily agree, Ajab?
Yeah, 100% agree. It's gonna be that order. Egypt first, Ghana second, Cape Verde. It's I know it's gonna be tough between Ghana and Cape Verde. Cape Verde and
That's right.
Ghana has been so inconsistent lately.
That's right. And
So it's a little,
Egypt
yeah.
again.
Okay, let me put it this way. I wouldn't be surprised if Cape Verde finishes ahead
Ghana,
of
right?
Ghana. Let me put it that way. But for me, I think for sure Egypt is going to be top of the group. Yeah.
I mean, that's my thinking too, because Egypt and Ghana desperately need to do well in this group stage because their last few outings have been really disappointing.
Yeah, but Egypt made it to the finals last
That's
year.
right.
I know when they hosted in 2019, they were eliminated by South Africa in the round of 16, which was like a shock. But
Yeah,
last year they made it to the finals and they lost on penalty shootout. So it's not really bad. But this year, with Mohamed Salah aging, it will be a good time for him to finally lift up the African Cup of Nations.
that's right. And there's a storyline of yes. Go ahead, Ajab. Finish your thought.
Unfortunately, when Egypt had that smooth run in 2006, 2008, 2010, Salah wasn't part of the team by then, so he can't boast of an African Cup of Nations, So this will be a time for him to at least take it as a personal issue and get
Yeah.
his team to that African
So
Cup of Nations.
there's this comparison that has happened quite a bit. That it's a bit interesting that for all his achievements in the club level, Mo Salah has not lifted the Afcon just yet. sort of like how his quest for the AFCON is sort of like how Messi was chasing the World Cup trophy, and with Messi having lifted the trophy last year for the World Cup, do we think this is Salah's time? Do you necessarily think so?
If you pay attention, most people are not talking about Egypt this year.
That's right.
And they could come. That's a good thing for Egypt. Most people not talking about Egypt. Most people talking about Senegal, Morocco, and all that. Most people not talking about Egypt. So it could ease the pressure on Egypt and make them have a smooth run to maybe semifinals or finals. But like I said, it's time. It's high time. Mohamed
Yeah,
Salah still has like one or two, three seasons of top form
Hmm.
football. So the earlier he takes it, the better. But you never know. Yaya Toure lifted up the AFCON when and at the end of towards the end of his career.
Career.
So you never know.
I think one thing that's very interesting for me with Egypt is that they use a lot of, I think, 90% or 98% of their players are home
Yes.
based.
Home based.
You
Yep.
know, so there's always gonna be that chemistry.
Cohesion.
Yeah, there's always gonna be that chemistry.
Yep.
Expect Egypt to come out and play some good collective football.
Yeah.
However, I think just winning the African Nations Cup sometimes when you make it to the final, you are as good as winning, especially when you lose in penalties, right?
Hmm.
So I don't think the African Cup of Nations will define Mo Salah if he wins it or not. I don't think it will define just as DJ Drogba. Remember, DJ Drogba did not win it, right?
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
it won't actually define him
But I mean, there's
Actually,
always that one thing that players always think of, right? Players always want that one little trophy.
I
That
know.
one
I
that he
know.
needs. It's just
And
like Wenger.
he's been to two finals. So it's not like he's
Exactly.
always been out on the group stage or
Exactly.
quarterfinals. He's been to two finals. So at
Yeah.
least he's
third time
sticking.
the charm.
He's been up there for a while.
Exactly. All right. Well, third time's the charm. Let's see how it goes, right? Let's see how it goes. But I like the comment you made there, Ajab, where you say Egypt can just sail through below the radar and just
Yeah.
come up top and surprise everybody. And I like that. I mean, hey, with Ghana, there's I mean, you cannot count folks like Inaki out. You cannot count Mohamed Kudus, who has been really on top form for West Ham, right? So I really don't want to say anything about Ghana because they've always disappointed somehow. But I think this year might just be that year where they go all the way and maybe just lose out in the semis or in the final.
No, I don't think Ghana has a good enough strike force
Okay,
and good enough defense because defense wins championships, right?
that's true.
So I don't think Ghana, no
Yeah.
doubt, when you look on paper,
We've
It,
they
got
have talent.
yeah,
You know, the kudos, Ayew is in his 10 record breaking.
guy from Bournemouth was the guy from Bournemouth.
Semeyo.
Yeah, they've
Semeyo,
got
yeah.
a good team on paper. I mean,
No, they have a good team. They have this other young guy, but I don't know why he stepped out from the. He chose not to join the Ghana squad. He plays for Leicester City,
oh,
Fatawu or something. Excellent winger. He's like
okay,
19. Excellent, exceptional, very pacey and skillful. But he chose not to go to the Afcon. So
Yeah, and
let
you guys know there's one thing now about I was reading some stats given by one of you guys know our MoMA
hmm,
yeah.
about
I know senior
yeah
man. I know our mama. Yeah,
about coaches. 60% in the past I think decade of coaches that have won the African Nations Cup are actually like Africans home base.
yeah,
I mean, it was some pretty interesting statistics that you
yeah.
should consider, and also consistency. The guy from Ghana, the new coach from Ghana, he was a part of
Chris
the
Hughton.
Englishman. Yes,
Yeah,
Sitton and all
Brighton
that. He's
and
actually
some other team.
how long has he been coach?
It's been a coach for a while, man.
You mean
No,
prior to Ghana
Prior
or?
yeah, I
to
mean he's just no. I mean with Ghana, just a
Oh,
year, right?
Ghana,
no,
he
that's
joined. He
recent.
was part
Yeah,
of the
that's recent.
coaching staff during the World Cup, but he joined. He
Yeah,
replaced
he joined
Ado.
now as a
He
coach.
replaced Ado after the World Cup. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. So for me, that also counts.
yeah.
For me,
Okay.
that also counts. You know, continuing knowing your squad that good and all that. So I think they might go. They can go far away as far as maybe quarterfinals, but I
Okay.
don't see Ghana winning this tournament or going to the finals.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, they suffered a huge loss to the US here in Charlotte. I actually got tickets to that game and I ended up not going. But then, man, 4-0 to the US, that's tough. Yeah, that was that
Oh,
one.
the one who was in against Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
Mexico,
Yeah.
yeah, in Charlotte, yes,
Against Mexico. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
the
It
game in
was
Mexico.
horrible. It was horrible.
No,
Anyways,
I was happy I didn't go because it was a mess.
all right. So what is your how do you think the teams will place in group B? Egypt, Ghana, and then Cape Verde, or Egypt, Cape Verde, and then Ghana. Let's go, Tru3lion.
I'll stick with Egypt, Ghana, Cape Verde.
Okay.
I'm a little confused. If I had the chance, I would say Egypt, Ghana slash Cape Verde. I don't know.
Ready?
It's tough. Yeah. But I'll go for Ghana. Ghana second. Yeah, Cape Verde
But
third.
this
Yeah.
is one of those groups where you
Yeah.
can easily see Cape Verde go into the second round just
Yeah.
because of the amount of talent in the group, right?
That's what I said. Like, I'm not going to be surprised if Ghana finishes third, right? Yeah.
Okay.
But you never know.
You
Like
never
right
know.
now, everyone is thinking Ghana is not as good. They could surprise the fans this time around, So,
It would be a nice surprise because I
yeah.
do love Ghana. I do love Ghana. Exceptional place. But let's talk about Group C. I know we're all Cameroonian. Group C is where Cameroon finds itself this time. So, and a lot of people have tipped the champions to come out of this group, even though the defending champions are also in this group. So let's talk about Group C. Group C has Cameroon, Gambia, Guinea, and Senegal. Anybody thinking of upsets here or just straight up
Oh
Upset.
mathematical
yes,
stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
I'm thinking of upsets.
yes.
Tru3lion, go ahead.
I think Guinea might upset Cameroon. Come on,
Yeah.
I'll just have that feeling.
Thought. It's a good thought because I mean, think about Guinea. What is it? Seregu Girassi?
Gurasi, yeah.
Right. 17 goals in 14 games in the Bundesliga. He is a powerhouse up front for Guinea. So I don't think he's going to be stoppable. I don't see anybody in the Cameroon team that can actually play
He's
toe to toe to him. And
he's actually listed day by day. He picked up an injury.
oh, really?
Yeah, so he's
Oh,
even
He has a knock.
without
Yeah, he's not
I'm
out
not
of the
injured.
Nations Cup. I think
no.
he had a knock when they played Nigeria. They won
Yeah,
Nigeria
check
2-0.
out
Yeah.
check
Oh,
out this guy Francois. What's his name? Francois. There's a player. There's I'll look up the name and let you know.
okay.
Check him
Well,
out.
there's been a lot of knocks in this lead up to
Yeah,
the
I
tournament.
don't know.
Vincent
I don't know.
Abubakar,
Yeah,
just recently, we just found out yesterday, right?
yeah,
Vincent
okay.
Abubakar
Yeah,
for
this is
Cameroon.
yeah. So yeah, I also share the same opinion with Tru3lion about an upset. For I saw we know Cameroon when it comes to a competition, it's a completely different ball game. Sometimes they struggle throughout qualifications when they say competition that you have 6 or 7 games to get to the finals. You see a completely different Cameroon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that. They
It's
have that winning. They have the winning
yeah,
mentality.
the
In
mentality.
spite of, but I have the issue with the Cameroon team is a little bit inexperienced. Most of the players that played last AFCON or the previous AFCONs are not going to be part of the team this time around. Secondly,
Okay.
the uh,
Mhm.
the coach is not that experienced enough. He's been
That's
in this. He's played. He's won multiple trophies, but as a coach, he's not that experienced enough. So that's where I have a problem with Cameroon. I see Senegal finishing as top of the group, although most of the Senegal key players are gone past their prime. But
right.
the good thing about the Senegalese squad is that they've been together for so long.
Yeah.
Same players. If you look at the same
Really.
squad that is participating in the AFCON 2023, which is this AFCON that starts today, you will notice when you look at the start first 11 or the first 18 or first 20, about 16 players were part of the AFCON 21, and about same 14 or 15 were
Yeah.
part of AFCON
Previous
19
one.
that lost the finals to Algeria. So, and then you have that Aliou Cisse factor, who's been with the team, coached most of them from right off
You
in
were
the
juniors.
from the
Yep.
under 20 Olympics team in
That's
2012,
right.
and then he joined the national team and brought them. So that chemistry is there. Even though they play outside, they don't play in the same at the same team for club level, but they've been together in the national team for so long. Because that's another thing you have to think about national team. With club football, you meet every day.
Yeah.
With national team, they call you, you come and play for one week,
There
you
you
train
go.
for 2, 3 days, and then you go play. So if you don't have that chemistry where you've been together
Hmm.
for previous competitions or previous national team games, it could help. So, and this could be also maybe Koulibaly maybe be looking at his last AFCON, or Sadio Mane looking at his last game at the top, last tournament at the top level. So they might say, okay, let's go for a back-to-back trophy. So I
So
see Senegal finishing first, and I'm a little scared that there may be an upset between Guinea and Cameroon. If Cameroon wins, okay. If I have to predict, I cannot say I'm going to predict after the Cameroon Guinea game. But right now, if you ask me, I will go for Senegal first, Guinea second,
oh,
and Cameroon coming third.
Cameroon a third.
Cameroon make it to the round of 16 as one of the best third teams.
Yeah,
That doesn't stop them from getting to the semis or finals.
I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. There's no denying that Senegal has an incredible amount of talent,
Yeah.
right? And the fact that they've been together for so long, from when they were juniors, growing together, going through all the stages. But the fact that they've won, and many of these players now plow their trade in Saudi Arabia, which is not as competitive. So
Yeah.
how sharp are these players? How good are they really? Are we going to see some slow football now? Are we going to see some less powerful football, some less intensity? I mean, I don't know. True Lion, what do you think? Are you going for Senegal to top this group again?
Oh, this group, anybody can top the group.
Okay.
Even Cameroon, maybe a draw, because an upset could be like a draw, right? A draw
Yeah.
against Guinea could be an upset, and anything picks up after that and all that. And keep in mind, even in last African Cup of Nations, Senegal did not perform well in the group stages. So it's not as if Senegal is coming to just run away with things here and all that.
Yeah. But Senegal had COVID issues that they had to play some games with just 11 or 12 players.
Bro, I do understand. Everybody
Yeah.
has issues. You understand? I
And
mean,
we shouldn't take Gambia for light. Like again, Gambia went to the quarterfinals and they were undefeated before
no,
any
but this time around, I mean, there's an element of surprise, right? Gambia
Always.
comes, nobody knows about them and all that.
yeah,
There's
that was
always
their
an
first
element of
time
that's the good
Cinderella
thing.
story.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
good thing of the AFCON and the Euro. They
Yeah.
and the
always
guy
supply packages. Always.
and the guy Senfed. His team
Mhm.
is all about discipline.
Discipline, yeah.
They
That's a great
tactically
coach. I like him.
disciplined,
I like
and
him.
yeah, and all that good stuff. But if you look at it, Rigobert Song is the one. How long has it been? 2 years, a little bit below 2 years, right?
He'll be 2 years in. He'll be 2 years in March.
March.
So he's the least he's the newest coach in here. Although he's been with the national team, for him it's just like as if. But if you also look at it, 14 of the 28 players that went to the World Cup
Mhm.
are in this African Nations Cup.
Ah, that's
You
true.
know,
That's true.
so there is really no continuity. The continuity Rigobert Song is talking about is just about qualifiers, the last qualifier of Nations Cup, then the two World Cup
World Cup games, qualifying.
exactly. So most of the players that you see in this squad, especially like striking force, without Abubakar will be injured for the first game. I don't know when he'll be back. Since they are still keeping him in the squad,
Yeah,
Magri is also injured.
Agreed, injured.
He
Yeah.
missed
Oh,
the first game.
No
So you
Nkuti.
have newbies.
oh,
Yeah.
Nkudu,
Magri is injured.
yeah,
So
he's
they're going to rely now on the Ateba and the other guy who
The
plays
young
in
guy.
Norway, right? Bodo,
Yeah.
what's his name? I don't know.
Mumbanya. Is it
Munganya
Mumbanya?
something and Ateba. So that's where the strike force is going to be. Oh,
That's amazing.
Exactly. So when I look at this, and we have a midfield that we're struggling, then we'll have a goalkeeper that has not played up to 3 games in one season,
yeah.
That's
just to go ahead and start that game. So that's why I said there could be an upset, which could be a draw, or maybe Guinea actually beats Cameroon. But as far as who qualifies from this group, Cameroon, I think will still qualify. But now, if Cameroon qualifies second, then there becomes a problem. You have to play the first team, which might be Cote d'Ivoire or Nigeria in the
okay.
next round.
So, what do you think? A strong third position for Cameroon then?
No, I'll still stick with Cameroon.
Second?
Yes, Cameroon can finish second on here, because going into this, Cameroon are the team where when you least expect from them, right?
Hmm. They deliver.
Yeah. I mean, they're unpredictable, but mentally they are so strong.
All right. Let's talk about
Mentally,
Cameroon for a second, though. There've been a lot of hay about. Um, I'm sorry to the viewers. We're Cameroonian, so we're focusing on Cameroon a little bit, and we're expanding a little bit on Group C. But of course, you can gauge the interest there. There's been a lot of noise about Onana not being able to show up early to camp and train with the team because he wants to play for his club and all that stuff. I saw Tru3lion. You put out something about that. You guys want to just touch on that before we move on to
Yeah, I think there's a lot of force on that thing. The people are a lot of energy. People are putting too much energy into that and trying to put all the blame on Onana.
Mhm.
Um, it's not the first time it's happening in Cameroon football. First and secondly, the manner at which they're approaching. I know Onana left the camp during the 2022 World Cup. People still have that at the back of their mind, and then he decided to join back at some point. This is how I look at it. I may be wrong. Manchester United signed Onana knowing he's no more a player with the Cameroon national team. He's resigned from the national team. That's how they signed him. That's how I look at it. And then at some point, he decided to join the national team. He reconciled with the powers that be, with Faker Food and the coaching department of Cameroon, and he joined the national team. Now Manchester United signed Onana, knowing that he's not an international. Now he's not an international anymore. We
player.
need him. We need him. So they decided, National United and Fika Food and Onana, they decided to sit down and say, okay, we need Onana
That's
until the 14th, right?
right. Hmm.
Because we signed him knowing he's not an international anymore. Fika Food, Onana, and Manchester United, they came to an agreement. Okay, we'll have Onana play the match against Tottenham and then join you guys after that. That's how I look at it. That's how I look
Yeah,
at it. And now everyone is like, Onana doesn't want to play for the national team. He thinks Manchester United is better than the
He's
national
being
team.
scapegoated. Well, maybe because of
People
history,
say
though.
someone is preferring the side chick to the wife, things like
yeah.
that. But this is how I
If
look at
you
it. In 1984, when Cameroon went for the African Cup of Nations, Cameroon's first ever trophy in the African Cup of Nations,
mm,
Cameroon had Toman Kono as the first keeper. After the first two games, Barcelona Espanyol negotiated with Fekafoot and Kono left. Bell took from the third game and the rest was
And
history.
the rest
Cameroon won.
yeah,
We went to 1988. Bell
same.
was the first keeper. Cameroon had to play Egypt. Bell was the first keeper. Marcel, Olympique de Marseille was Bell's team at that time. They needed Bell services. They negotiated with Fekafood. Bell left, went back to France. Songo Jacques put up a man of the match display in that game. Cameroon won Egypt 1-0. Bell came back the next game. He was keeper against Nigeria and Kenya, and the rest was history. Cameroon won that Cup of Nations. In 2003, Eto Fils, who is now the president of the Cameroon Football
Pick up food.
Federation,
Yeah.
he missed the semifinals against Colombia because he had to go play the Copa del Rey, the Spanish Cup finals, which they
That was
won.
at the Confederations Cup, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they scored, and which they won, and he scored two goals. He missed the semifinals against Colombia. Lucky enough, the lone goal for Cameroon was scored by Ndefi Piles, who replaced Samuel Etofis.
Samuel Eto'o.
But the good thing about it is that when Etofis came back for the finals, he was benched. He didn't start automatically. He had to come in for Ndefi Piles after. But those are things that most people don't really pay attention to. We're just on Onana doesn't like the national team. That's how I look at it. I may be wrong. That I think if they have to blame, 90% of the blame has to go to Feka Foot for
Yeah.
allowing Manchester United to keep Onana. Because if Onana said, I want to play for United, I will not play for Cameroon, and Feka Foot said, no, you're coming to Cameroon, it won't go to this level. So
All
that's
right.
how I look at it.
I
Well,
think I think this is also how I look at it, right? I mean, there are relationships between club and national teams, right?
mhm.
So we are not hearing Fekafut complain about it. They're not talking about it. So they came into an agreement, and it happens in football, right?
Yes.
So those who are talking about it just want to talk about the meta game and make noise and stuff like that. But Onana is committed to the national team. He's undisputed number one for the Cameroon national team and for Manchester United. So we have other goalkeepers, and those goalkeepers will actually start, the first game, and I expect Onana to be the first choice goalkeeper immediately after that.
All right. Well, that's great. We've dwelled about that. We've dwelled on that for a little bit, but I'm glad that you guys provided this bit of history, and that's why it's so important to have these conversations, right? Because folks just go with social media sense. There's this sensationalism about every little thing that happens to the team, right? And with a tournament like this, you need team players to focus. You need them to be in the game, ready to compete. But anyways, it is what it is, and glad that you guys provided that bit of history there to clear it up. Hopefully, for the guests, for the viewers, sorry, you get to understand a little bit what our stance is on that. I just want to highlight a comment here. Samuele De Angelis. Uh, he says he's Italian, but in Africa, his favorite national team is Cameroon. In 1990, of course, Italy and Cameroon. That's right. We remember that quite fondly. Was the very first time I got to watch the World Cup. I enjoyed it beyond. Thank you so much, Samuele. Grazie mille. Nick says his order for the for Group C is Senegal, Guinea, Cameroon, and Gambia.
So at least I have someone who at least shares the same
Agrees with
opinion
you.
with me. So
That's right.
I'm not alone. I'm not that stupid. So
That's
yeah,
right, and it's great. It's great that
yeah.
we have that, and I appreciate that. So, Tru3lion, you haven't really confirmed your standings. What are your standings? You see Cameroon second, Senegal first, and then between Guinea and Gambia, it's a toss-up, or how are you seeing it?
No, I think Guinea is gonna qualify. So three teams gonna come out from this group.
Okay,
It could be in any order. Cameroon might just turn out first with about 5 points because this group is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
That's
tough.
right.
Even
Can
Senegal,
we designate this the
there's
group
no
of death?
guarantee Senegal is gonna beat Guinea.
Yeah,
You remember last African Cup of Nations 0-0.
that's right.
Yeah.
So
And
That's
a
right.
good thing, a good thing. The three teams we focused on in the Group C are all coached by nationals.
Nationals. Yeah,
Guinea is being
exactly,
coached by Kaba Jawara, who is a
yeah.
former Guinea player, and he
Yeah,
also has that fighting, that winning spirit, that fighting mentality. He may be able to instill that into the team. And
exactly,
maybe it's a team that people have been talking about
and
lately. Maybe not just due to the Gurasi factor, but they
mm,
always have their way of doing things.
of
It's a
doing
group of
things.
11 guys who come in to play the football.
I
They
mean,
don't care where they come from. So
a
it's
lot
something
of
to take into
yeah.
consideration.
The point is that a lot of people feel that Senegal is gonna come into this group and dominate.
It's not a
That's
walk
not
in the
gonna
park.
happen.
Yeah, I think Senegal is going to top the group, but it's not going to be a walk in the park. Yeah.
that's right. But just like Senegal, Guinea is also one of those teams that has been around, like from the youth level. You see that the players have
Yeah.
really played together and come up with a few additions like Gressi for recently. You can tell that they've played
But
together.
I remember Guirassy used to play for Lille. Was it Lille? I remember Chelsea playing Lille. Chelsea, was it Lille or Rennes, one of those teams in the Champions League some few years
That
back,
he was around.
where he scored one powerful header against Chelsea.
Mhm.
Then I didn't hear about him for a while, and then all of a sudden he just came back to prominence with Stuttgart, and he's doing a fantastic job so far. So,
Man, the guy can score goals. I watched some highlights and I was like, whoa.
and they're good goals, not flukes.
Yeah,
They're
they're
good
not
goals.
easy
Yeah.
goals. Yeah, and it's funny. You pointed out that with Lille, he was in their B team, and then he went to their top, the main team. He didn't really get a league there, and then went to Laval, and now he's just killing it in Stuttgart. Man, that's amazing. Anyways, all right, good, good, good. So Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and then Gambia.
Let me just throw some controversy there. Cameroon, Senegal,
Uh huh.
Guinea, Gambia.
Okay, so Cameroon to top the league for you. That's
Yeah,
right.
for me, Senegal, Guinea, Cameroon. So it's going to be a tie between Guinea and Cameroon, but I think maybe, yeah, it's going to be Senegal, Cameroon. It's going to be Senegal, Guinea, Cameroon for me. Yeah, and then Gambia fourth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to highlight a comment here. There's a lot of hay and beef that's been going on in Cameroon, Ivory Coast on social media. If you've been following comparisons and all that good stuff, it makes a good banter though. It makes a good banter. Do you guys want to shed some light on that before we move on to group D?
Yeah, actually, it's been going on for quite a while. It's been going
Yeah.
on. It started from the field. I
Mhm.
remember the
Yeah.
2006. You remember that game 2006 where Cameroon actually beat Ivory Coast
In Ivory
Yeah.
Coast,
in
they had
Abidjan.
tricks. They had tricks
And
from Achille Webo.
e-
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. So that was the foundation
Yeah.
for this newer generation. Because in the older generation, there was Ivory Coast too much respect for Cameroon. Then
Yeah.
when they got the Drogbas and the Yaya Toure, they thought,
The
yeah,
golden generation in quotes. Yeah.
That's
exactly,
Yeah.
right.
exactly. They thought they could compete with Cameroon.
And then
And
Man, those guys
lately,
are
we saw how we
because
knocked
the
them.
dog got
Lately, we
carried.
knocked
The
Ivory
dog got-
Coast out from the World Cup. But I
That's
think the
right.
competition is actually very very because I saw Valsero. It's a healthy one.
Mhm.
It's about the culture. That's how they choose to do it. They do
yeah.
battles,
Yeah.
dances, songs, and all that.
You
So
remember
it's
the
good for
Ivorian
football.
group Magic System releasing a song after the 2006 World Cup
Yeah.
qualification about Wome missing the penalty in Yaoundé and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a long
It's always
rivalry,
been
but
that.
it just came, the tension is too much right now. They're
I
taking it very,
consider
very
them
personal right now.
long lost cousins who are always
Yeah.
there's always that rivalry between siblings, right? All right, thank you for that question, Mark. All right, let's move on, guys. Let's move on to Group D. What are your thoughts? Group D has Algeria, Angola, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania. I think Mauritania is not going anywhere in this group. So this could be easily between Algeria, Angola, and Burkina Faso. I think Burkina Faso comes in second, but
Burkina
Algeria
Faso,
disappointed.
Burkina Faso coming in first. Watch out, Burkina Faso.
No, no, I don't
Really?
think so. I
Okay.
don't think so.
Really?
You know why?
No,
Algeria has one of the best defenses
Yeah,
okay.
but they disappointed last time.
No, it
Listen,
happens. It
listen,
happens. But
listen.
yeah,
Algeria conceded just one goal in the qualifier.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Yeah, that's
Algeria
true.
has one of the best defenses.
Yeah.
Algeria is one of the favorites to win the African Nations
No,
Cup.
that's true. They considered one goal. That's true.
So, what for teams? Angola is going home for sure.
yeah.
What other team
Burkina
is that?
Faso, Burkina Faso,
Burkina Faso and
No,
then Mauritania.
Burkina
and then
Faso will finish second.
Mauritania.
They'll finish second. Mauritania and Angola are going home. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but Burkina Faso is a good team, man. I
No,
think
They
that's
finish
what I'm
second.
talking about. Burkina Faso, for the last few AFCONs, they've been showing up. Like no jokes. Watch
Yep.
out with them, and they have some good players
I
who
think
can pull the strings.
I
Trust me.
think they'll finish second.
Okay.
Who? You think Burkina Faso finishes second? So Algeria, let's look at Algeria for example. Riyad Mahrez, those are old people. Slimani, they're getting much older. Those people are in their 30s.
Slimani, I can't bet on Slimani, man. I can't bet
Exactly.
on that
So
guy.
those are
Yeah.
players that have been around for a long time. You
They
think they'll
got a young.
carry
But
the
just look what they did recently, man. One goal considered. They
how
got the
many
best
did they
defense,
score?
man.
How many did they score?
The
They
That's
problem
scored, I
is,
think, 11.
yeah, Algeria scored about 9 or 10 goals in the qualifiers. They conceded one,
One.
maybe one or two. But look at the oppositions. They were with Uganda,
excellent.
Niger, Tanzania.
Yeah,
Those are
bro.
the
Let
teams
me.
you have
Okay,
to take
Tanzania is a
into.
good team. Let me ask you a question. Who was in the same group with Cameroon? How many goals
No,
did
that's
Cameroon
another thing
score?
I
That's
didn't want to
another
mention.
thing.
That's why, if you noticed at the
Cameroon
beginning, I
had three
said
teams in their group,
yes, and
and
they
it
had
took them
some
to the
Cameroon
last day to
struggle.
qualify.
Cameroon did the last day to qualify against
True,
is it
true.
Burundi and some
Let's say they
other.
didn't take it
Yeah, and
seriously.
Namibia. But I'm
Yeah,
saying that's why if you notice I said at the beginning that with Cameroon, you never know. Once it's a competition, the spirit is different.
Yes, exactly.
Because if you look at the qualification, you write off Cameroon. If you
yeah.
have to take the qualification phase into consideration, you're gonna write off Cameroon.
Guys,
But for
you
some reason, I don't know, even if you bring
Burkina
11
Faso,
new guys, once you tell them it's a tournament, they show up
they
differently.
show up.
It's just the Cameroon, it's the DNA in Cameroon.
I'm just
Yeah.
talk on this Burkina Faso team, right? Tapsoba, like guy.
Tapsoba is an excellent defender
Tapsoba,
playing for
like
Leverkusen. I watch
he alone
Leverkusen
can carry
every
the
week in,
team.
week
Then
out.
there's Traore, there's
Yeah.
Sangari. I mean, this team is
So
good.
you think so because of that you think they're gonna top
I think they can top
Algeria in
the
that
league.
group?
It's gonna
Yeah,
be tough. I
they can
know, but
top the group.
Algeria is good, but Algeria is another team that the squad is aging. It's
Yeah,
aging. They don't have some newcomers
they-
that you can say, hey, watch out for this guy.
a lot of older
They
people.
don't have some newcomers. Like for Senegal, even though the team is aging, but you have
No,
this young man.
Algeria has some new guys that came in.
Okay,
Where
you have this new guy, this young guy who plays for Tottenham, who is a serious box to box midfielder, even though he's injured. The Matessa guy who plays for Tottenham. Those are the
Oh
new guys that are coming up
no,
for
Bessar, that's
Senegal.
he's Senegalese.
No, I was saying that just for Senegal, even though
oh, okay.
Senegal is injured, even though Senegal is aging, you have some new guys coming in. With Algeria,
Yeah,
I don't really know some of those new
Algeria,
guys
they
that are
don't really
coming in.
have
They're
a lot of
probably
players.
still
I
relying
mean,
on
Hussein
the old guys like Riyad Mahrez. But
Hussein
maybe
Awar is not bad. Hussein
who?
Awar, Hussein Awar, the guy from Lyon. Um,
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah,
that's the
he chose
one
to play for
guy.
Nigeria. He
Yeah,
plays for
that's
Roma. He plays for
exactly.
AS Roma.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay, yeah.
one guy who is like the young group, but they've like their coach went back and called all these older people like Slimani and Benacer, all these people. They're like above 30, 31, 32. I don't know that they can do it. I
So
don't
that's
know. I really don't know.
yeah.
I think
Tru3lion had a point. They could decide they could use this year. Okay, probably it's our last year. Let's give it up. Let's give it
Algeria's
all.
Algeria's problem is just maybe their coach
Finishing.
has a big mouth.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Belmadi.
Their
yeah.
coach, yeah,
Belmadi,
he
Belmadi.
doesn't focus on the game and all
That's
that.
he's a character. He's a character.
Yeah.
We have to admit, Belmadi is so fun though. Yeah, I mean, hey, who doesn't need a coach like that? All right, great, great, great. All right, cool, cool, cool. So you thinking Algeria, Burkina Faso, and then Angola, Mauritania, Tru3lion. Is that your pick?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve-O,
Yeah,
Ajab.
Tru3lion is succeeded in convincing me, so I'll go for Algeria first and Burkina Faso
I'm,
second.
I'm sticking
Angola,
with
but I don't see a third team making it to the knockout phase from this
nah,
group.
this group will be
I don't
easy.
see it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
see it.
think this group is easiest on paper when you're trying to figure out
Yeah,
the two that will not
exactly.
make it to
On
the
paper,
second
yeah.
round. Yeah, but I think Burkina Faso tops Algeria in this group just because man, I don't know. Tapsoba alone can carry the whole team. I don't know. That guy is powerful.
Yeah,
But
it's
anyway,
good. I like
all
it.
right, let's go to Group E, guys. Let's go to Group E. Okay, Group E: Mali, Tunisia, South Africa, Namibia.
That's a group. Watch out. This is a very tricky group.
Yeah,
This is a very tricky group. This is one of
yeah,
those group where if you lose your first game, forget about it.
you're done. Yeah,
Yeah, this is one of those. I don't see you coming back after losing your first game. This is going to be a very tricky group. That's what I think. Mali, South Africa is very good. They have entirely home-based players, but they know what they're doing.
yeah.
They know what they're doing. It's being coached by the former Cameroon coach, the guy who won the
Hugo
AFCON
Bros.
in
Rashida or
2017.
whatever his name is.
No, the man who
No,
won the
no,
AFCON,
that guy.
Hugo
Hugo
Bruce.
Bros.
Hugo
Hugo
Bruce.
Bruce, yeah,
Bruce.
he's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think South Africa good contenders, but Tunisia has a point to prove in this one.
Yeah.
Tunisia absolutely has a point to prove. I think they were shocked when was it they lost? Was it they lost to South Africa?
And Tunisia is the one that eliminated Nigeria last AFCON in the round of 16. When
That's
Nigeria, after the first round, Nigeria looked like favorites.
yeah.
And then they had that one goal from Tunisia, and that was it.
Tunisia is an effective team, and I think they can do it. I mean, I think they can actually get out of this group easily. I'm not
Easily?
sure about second place. Yeah, I think Tunisia can get out of this group quite easily. But Mali, we can't count Mali out. Just like Burkina Faso and
Yeah.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Mali.
Mali is one of the dark horses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
One of my
Yeah.
dark horses in this
Yeah.
tournament.
Mali. If Bissouma. Mali.
yep, Bissouma. Yep, there you go.
If Bissouma.
Mali's
Yeah,
not
I like
a
Mali.
team to take lightly because Mali
Yeah.
has quite a good midfield too. Like you can,
Yeah.
I mean, Bissouma, Koulibaly, Kamara. What's the other guy? And then the attacker. Uh, I forget the name. I have to look it up. They have an attacker, Diakite or whatever.
Diakate?
Premier League, yeah, in the Premier League.
Yep.
He's good, good. I mean,
No, no, no. This guy who plays for Luton Town, where does he play? The Adebayo guy. No, no, no. He doesn't go to the
Adebayo
okay,
doesn't.
no,
Yeah,
he's the right back. The right back for Luton Town that is on loan from Man City. They
that's
call him what's Kabori. He plays
Cab-
for Mali. Is it Mali or Guinea? Burkina
uh,
Faso, one of them, I think. I forgot. Yeah.
yeah, one of those teams.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, but Mali's it's a good team. Like you said, dark horses this year.
Yeah. Mali is
Yep.
that was. Yeah.
All right.
Mali is
So
one
what
of
is
the
our
top
what
ones.
is our prediction on this one? Mali, Tunisia, then South Africa and Namibia, or
Tunisia is going to top the group. I think so.
okay,
It's not going to be easy, but I
For me,
think
Mali
they're
is
going
going
to
to top
finish
the group.
top. Mali?
Mali?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll check back in when it's time for second round, and we'll see
Yeah.
how we're doing.
I
All
think
right.
Tunisia.
So cool. Let's go to the last group. Group F. Group F has Morocco, Tanzania, Zambia, and the DR Congo. I want to start off by saying Morocco should be favorites in this group, but I mean they're the best placed African team right now in the world, right? Morocco went to the semifinals of the World Cup, so they have a lot to prove. Uh,
Yes, they have the pressure is so much on them. But something I want to mention: Morocco could finish top of the group. It's not going to be an easy ride if you ask me. Zambia, watch out for Zambia.
oh yeah,
You
Zambia.
understand? Watch
There's
out for
something
Zambia.
about the way Zambia.
They finished first in the group that had Ivory Coast.
Thank you.
You understand? And they outscored Ivory Coast.
Yeah,
So watch out with them, Zambia. Morocco, if you watch Morocco performed so well in the World Cup because they sat back and they were comfortable sitting back and defending, allowing teams to play, and then they take on the counter.
Yep.
Morocco will not sit back against Tanzania or Zambia or Congo. They will not sit back. They will go to play. So
yeah,
that could hurt them.
and that was shock.
They have a good team, no doubt. But the reason they excelled at the World Cup, if you notice, they sat back. You come, they have
Congo,
the energy, they're comfortable defending, and then they take you on the counter.
Congo is a
They
very dangerous team in counter
Yeah.
attack.
I have ZR Congo too, who
Congo, yeah,
they have 11 players who are almost on the same level.
yep.
So
Dangerous
they
on
want to play
counter
the
attack.
ball.
Many of them are also domestic players.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have
With the exception of maybe 2 or 3 from Europe.
they have that Tepe Mazembe team that
Yep,
has been
Yeah.
dominant in the
Yeah.
African
Yeah.
continent, and even the Mutema Pembe, or how they call it. But
yeah,
they have a few players like Cedric Bakumbu who are also good.
yeah.
He's a good striker. So
So
yeah, so
I, I think. Sorry, Ajab, you were gonna say something. Go ahead.
I think it's gonna be between Morocco and Zambia.
Yeah.
Congo to finish third. That's how I look at it. I don't know, but Morocco and Zambia, I'm scared of these guys. They're good. They're good.
Zambia.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Morocco first, Zambia second, if you ask me.
So I think Zambia is coached. First of all, Zambia is coached by former Chelsea coach Avram Grant.
Yes, by Avram Grant. Yeah.
And the thing about Zambia, they play as if they're like, okay, you will score. You want to score, you can score, but we are going to score. They're just like Brighton. They don't stop. They just keep
I
coming.
watched, and Avram Grant, and he did well too with Ghana, even though he didn't win the AFCON with Ghana in 2015.
Yeah.
He lost to penalties or something. But
Exactly.
yeah,
So Zambia is a team
Zambia,
to watch out in this group. Like, they
Zambia,
might
the qualifiers, they really played well. Even though you say you can't use qualifiers, but Zambia is a team that you might come thinking you're playing to play an underdog, and then they surprise you. By the time you're adjusting, they're
they're
comfortable.
already gone.
They have a comfortable lead, so you
But
have to watch out with them.
Morocco, Hakim Ziyech,
Everything Morocco, based on individual talent, or they have a good team. They have Bono, even though Bono has gone to Saudi Arabia money. You have Bono is still very good. You have Ziyech, who is also
yeah,
doing good
yeah,
at some level with Galatasaray. You have Hakimi. You
Imi,
have the captain is I think is the captain is playing too in Saudi. the guy who used to play for Wolverhampton, size, Roman size or something.
Nice, yeah.
They have a good, if you look at the World Cup, okay,
They have Sofiane Boufal, right?
uh,
Amrabat.
yeah, so,
So this is the one team that I think they've packed their squad with a lot of midfielders. If you look at all the squads, all the teams that called players, like different teams have like 4, 5 forwards, 6 forwards. I think Nigeria actually has like 10 forwards out of their 20 list of 25 or
yeah.
27. But Morocco has only 3 forwards because all their midfielders are deadly. Folks like Ziyech and
You
Buffal
have
and Amla,
the skinny guy who plays midfield for Marseille, Unai, very skilled,
Unai, yep,
very skilled
Azedine
guy.
Unai.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
very
very
skilled
skilled.
It's
guy.
just that they also play. Don't forget that they play, like you just called Ziyech and all that. Those guys, they play with a lot of wingers too. They spread up
Yeah,
the
Yes,
field. So
exactly. So
all they
that's what I
miss is
wanted to point out.
one.
So if
They
they
need
choke
to
you
need
in
a
the
big
midfield,
center forward.
yeah, they
Yeah.
choke you out in the midfield, they will kill you. They will kill you off easily. So I mean, I think for year it's quite easy. Morocco comes out of the group, topping it. I think it's a toss up between Zambia and DR Congo. That's my prediction. How about
I
yeah,
don't
you?
think it will be a toss up. Zambia is gonna come out second for me.
yeah. That's how I
Yeah.
look at it, man.
Yeah,
Zambia.
play style is tough, man. I don't know. I've never trusted that coach, but
Oh,
I
Adam
just think,
Grant.
yeah, I don't
The,
know. I just think
the
that
Zambian guys are playing good. They're playing good.
there is just like I compared Zambia to Brighton. Some days you catch them on a good day, they will kill you off. But when you catch them on their bad day, you really put them down. So if Zambia comes out and gets smoked, it will be easy. It will be a lot. Like this is one of the teams that can take so many goals, but they're also one of the teams that can score so many
Yeah,
goals.
they're very comfortable winning 5-4, 4-3,
Yeah,
3-2. You know,
yep,
yeah, they don't score one goal and sit
exactly.
back. Yeah.
Yep. They come out and play. So yeah. So what about you, True Lion? What do you think? Uh
Yeah. Morocco for me, then Zambia and DR Congo.
okay.
Same
And
here.
Ajab,
Same here.
same.
Morocco first, Zambia second, Dr. Congo third.
Okay. Cool beans, cool beans. All right. So that's it for the group stages. That's amazing stuff. Thank you so much. Let's now talk about some things around or some storylines around the Nations Cup. It's been a great year. We've seen controversy is never lacking. That's our thing, right? There's always controversy. But I want us to chat a little bit about some of the stories that have come out. There was a Gambia national team that had to, like, they were on a plane and there was some oxygen malfunction and people started passing out on the flight. They had to go
Yeah.
back. Um, you know, uh, then there's of course, we've talked about Ivory Coast and Cameroon. There are other controversies. So let's talk. Let's talk for a little bit, and I just want you guys to chime in on your thoughts about the fact that CAF has increased the payouts for the Nations Cup. Does this add to the game? Does this make AFCON more popular? Does this bring in a lot more sponsor money? Meaning that some of these the nations, the countries that participate in this tournament will now have a little more resources to take back home and implement, like on the local leagues and do improvement projects and programs to improve local leagues and things like that. So let's just talk about that for a second. Ajab, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think the increment in the bonuses, or let's say the price, financial price for AFCON, then I think the CAF at this point is trying to look now into developing local football. I think they want to look at it. They want to look at a situation where maybe in the next 10, 15 years, even if clubs in Europe are trying to prevent players from going to the AFCON, it shouldn't be a big issue. You can be comfortable to get home talents to contribute to participate in the AFCON. So CAF increasing that is more looking towards improving infrastructure, virtual structures, mental structures of each of African countries.
Hmm.
So that's how I look at it. And then if you're a country that you know, okay, if I win, I get 7 million to build up this thing. Because I don't think it has anything to do with the players. Those players are already making a lot of money. Even making it $20 million is not going to change. It's not going to change the mindset. So it's more of those involved, the powers that be most involved within them to make sure that it takes it to another level. So to me, that increment is a good thing in that if it's well managed, football within national football and football at the national level is gonna be improved at every level.
Okay. Great, great. That's a great point. What about you, Tru3lion? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think for the start, it's a good thing. I don't think that African countries only lack resources; they lack also the right mindset. So, if you see some countries, Mutsepe, the guy, the big
Yeah,
boss of CAF,
The calf boss,
he
yeah.
owns teams. He's been owning teams in
millionaire.
South Africa, so he knows what he wants to do. He knows he wants to change mindsets, and he wants to give countries a chance to actually build up their local structures, because that's what it will take. I earlier told you about teams like Egypt, Morocco. If you see, their grassroots football is actually wonderful. And although maybe Egypt, if they come, they have not won the African Nations Cup for quite a while, but I do admire them. For me, that's the best African team, because they come with 90%, 98% local players. Because football is not only African Nations Cup. Everybody gathers, they're excited and all that. It's also the local league, CAF competitions. Our teams need to actually entertain, or our cultures need to get better. We don't have to wait for African Nations Cup and wait for World Cup. So it's a good initiative. It's actually good, but now we have to work harder to change our mindsets.
Mindsets. That's right. All right. So before we go, that's a great point to round it up. But before we go, just rounding it up all off. Who are your favorites to win the tournament?
Well, I would say my favorites. I'll give you two names, right?
Mm-hmm.
Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say Ivory Coast. I don't think Ivory Coast is ready.
Yeah.
And Senegal.
Senegal. Okay, so you're going for a repeat for Senegal. All right. And then Morocco. Or Morocco. All right. What about you, Ajab?
Yeah. Can you permit me to give three names?
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll go for the host, Ivory Coast, Senegal, and Morocco.
Senegal and Morocco.
Yes.
What if I said Cameroon, Ghana, and maybe Tunisia?
Yeah, that's
Can I
fine.
can I tell you something about Cameroon?
Go for it.
Yes, Cameroon can has done that before in 2017. But you know the difference between 2017 and now?
What is what
We
is the
had a, we
We
had we
get
had we had a coach that made it happen.
someone on the bench. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah,
We
you
had
have
a
someone
coach
on the
that
bench.
make
Yeah,
it happen. I don't see Rigobert Song doesn't have the gut to coach a team to win.
yeah.
Wow,
True.
let him
No,
surprise me.
I think
exactly. Let him surprise.
he could,
Cameroon has
he
always
could
been
shock
that
us.
country that we talk about.
Yeah.
Cameroon's. Sometimes people say you don't need a coach. Cameroon is Hemle, but
Yeah.
the thing they call Hemle. If you don't, you can't. You go
Sometimes.
Hemle,
Yeah.
Cameroon is top.
Because
But
that was Hugo Bros, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Hugo Bros.
Hugo
Yeah.
Bruce.
Let me tell you what Hugo Bros did. The first round, if you watch Cameroon, we had 5 points, right?
Yeah.
We drew two and won one.
One.
Yes.
Everybody was saying that Cameroon is out.
No,
Yeah.
useless
Put,
man.
huh?
They called him a useless coach.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Next
I
we had
remember.
was Senegal, right?
Yeah, that's right.
0-0. We beat them on penalties.
Penalties.
Yeah.
We beat Ghana
Two
2-0.
zero.
2-0.
Then we beat
Two good
Egypt
goals
2-1.
from Gade. Two good
And,
goals from Gade
and how
Ambassador.
did that make that? How did he make that happen? By benching Kulu and by
Yep.
benching Abubakar.
Yes.
Imagine Abubakar at 23, 24 back then was the
On the
coach
bench.
realized that Abubakar was not a hard worker. He was not working hard.
Yes.
He benched Abubakar
And
for
who did
who?
he bring
For
in?
Tambe. Tambe who could not
Yeah,
even
that's
Yep.
score,
him.
And they
who could
came
not
in.
score a goal. You understand? But
He
Tambe
didn't have a
was a
shot on
hard worker.
target.
He held up
He
the
didn't
ball.
have a shot on target, but he had his
Exactly.
role. He was doing
But
that
he was
that
a
hold up
hard
play.
worker.
The work,
Yeah.
that hold up play was
Yeah.
the work he was
That's
doing.
true.
Now that's coaching.
Yeah.
That's coaching.
And I mean, I
And
think Song can do it. I think Song can
no,
do it.
yeah, he can do it. Me, I think Son can do it with time. But right now it's a little and Cameroon, if you look at the selection that Song is making, you can think that you can see that Song is trying to build a team for the future. The
Yeah.
Cameroonians don't have that patience.
Nah. Everybody wants
They don't have that patience that you're
But
building a team. No,
let me
every
tell you why.
tournament you go to, you have to win it. There's no time to build
I
a
have.
team. And
Let me
then,
let me tell you.
secondly,
Let me tell you why
secondly,
Son cannot do it.
go ahead.
go ahead.
Let me tell you why Son cannot do it.
Mhm.
Go for it.
When I see the players being called, I know Eto's influence
Oh yeah.
is hugely behind it.
Oh yeah. Oh
If
yeah.
you look at the body language of Rigobert Song, when he's been asked questions about Moting not being called,
Yeah.
he repeats 3 times that Moting is a very important player.
Yeah.
How can you tell us Moting is important and on another half you're not calling the player?
Yeah. No,
Does that make sense?
I said Song can do it with time. If it happens now, it's going to be a huge surprise to me. I said in the long run, he may be able to do it because if you look at Cameroon now, he's
Yeah.
trying to call up some young players that you see some talent in there. Maybe he's trying to build for the future. If it happens, as I said, Cameroon, they don't have that patience. If you look, even like, let me go back to 2017. If you look, Hugo Bros, every game, even though Cameroonians have a thing of, that coach no get first 11.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a first 11. If you call a team of 16 or 22, you know they're equal to the task. Don't start saying, the coach no get first 11. If you notice, Hugo Bros from the first game, he started with this Nkulu, Ngade as a midfielder. No, Ngade, and then the second game he brought Nkulu, shift Ngade to Hilt. If you notice, every game, Siani didn't start the tournament. Siani wasn't a starter.
But that's
John wasn't a starter.
Yeah.
You had Manjek was the one who was starting in the midfield.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every game, he looked at the game and saw how he could bring a change to the team. By the time he got to the semis, quarterfinals, and semis, he had his team.
That's right.
That's how you do it, you know.
And guess what?
He didn't get a lot of time to work with the team.
They would have.
He didn't get a lot of time.
And guess what? 7 players had denied the call up. 7 players.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
of the state of the team at that
Yeah.
time. Because of the state of the team. And I think 2017 was a revelation where nobody really expected the team to do well. And the team performed. And that's why I think this year,
Because they had a horrible,
they had a horrible
2015. They had a horrible 2015 AFCON.
Eliminated in the
Horrible
first round.
2015.
yep, the first time we've left the AFCON in the first round, right?
Since 1990 or something.
Yeah.
Yes, they had a horrible AFCON.
So that's why I think because nobody
let me ask you guys a question.
counting Cameroon in.
Nico and Ajab, let me ask you guys a question.
Go for it.
What have you seen in Rigobert's song that will make you think this guy can win an African?
I've not seen it. That's what I'm saying. Okay, there's room. Like I said.
So let me ask you another question, Ajab, since you're saying that. You think if Song gets knocked out, let's say before semifinals, let me say the next round, he qualifies and the next he gets knocked out. You think Eto'o is gonna leave him as coach?
Why not?
I think so.
Why not?
I don't
know. No, I'm not saying.
Let me tell you one thing.
Those guys.
Let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Song is getting paid too much, right?
Yeah.
If he gets knocked out, let's say just after eliminatory, in the next stage he gets knocked out, I bet you Eto'o will fire him.
Cameroonian said Song is there to stay. He won Brazil, the first African coach to
No,
win.
but I'm telling you the type of person.
All right.
I'm telling you the type of person.
I'm joking.
Eto'o is a winner.
That's a wait and see game.
No,
That's
I see Song. I see Song rather resign than getting sacked.
Eto'o is the winner.
All right. Cool beans. So we let's round up the conversation. We've been on for an hour. We didn't intend to keep anybody longer than an hour because we want to get on to watch the opening ceremony in Cote d'Ivoire. It's happening right now in Abidjan. So let's quickly run down next set of picks before we call it a day. And then we'll of course reconvene to the viewers. We will be coming back every couple of days. Talk more about how the tournament is going, what we've noticed, what the picks are, amongst other things, right? And if, of course, something comes up, we will share. For now, let's talk about the games you guys are most looking forward to seeing. What is the clash you're most looking forward to seeing? Tru3lion, go.
Cameroon, Senegal.
Cameroon, Senegal, okay. What about you, Ajab?
Nigeria, Ivory Coast.
Yeah, I think that's the big one, and that's what that I think that game will tell us who qualifies first for the.
Yeah, I'm looking at Nigeria, Ivory Coast.
Yeah,
the Cameroon Senegal is going to be another big one for sure.
I think somewhere along the line there's going to be an Egypt versus Ivory Coast game. I'm not too sure, but I think somewhere along the line it's possible.
If they both make it.
Yeah, that would be fun to watch. But anyways, which team do you think has the long outside shot to make it into the second round and maybe even crash? Like I call them party crashers. Which team? Like I think some people say they're dark horses and things like that. Mali. Okay. What about you, Ajab? Guinea. All right. I don't really have one. I just think that the tournament is going to be so amazing.
Yeah, but
I think Egypt might get a huge disappointment this year.
Yeah, I was just about to get into that. So, which team do you think is going to underperform and shock you with their really horrible performance?
Egypt.
Tru3lion goes for Egypt. What about you, Ajab?
Cameroon.
All right.
Yes.
Well, it's strange. I think Algeria. I saw a video of people chanting Algeria in Yamoussoukro or something. But I think Algeria is going to disappoint again. I don't know. I just have that feeling. They have a very old team, and I don't like their coach too much.
They
All
just
right.
won 3 years ago, right? Is it
Yeah.
3 editions ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
mean
since
Algeria? Algeria, yeah, they won in
Algeria,
2019 when Egypt hosted. Yeah,
Yeah.
and since then they've not
and
been in
then last AFCON they're out in the
first
first leg.
round.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first round.
because
Yeah,
they came in thinking they had already won it.
they thinking they were favorites.
Yeah.
Because of their coach, big
Yeah,
man.
exactly, exactly, and the fact that Algeria has not let up on the fact that we beat them in that last game
Yeah,
before going to Qatar.
they're still talking about
They still talk about it. Their bloggers still.
yeah.
I saw an
I met an Algerian guy. I was asking where he's from Cameroon. He said,
yeah,
Cameroon, you know you guys. He
yeah,
was telling me before the World Cup, you know you guys are not going to go to the World Cup because FIFA is looking into it. I said, sure. I said, sure.
they still talk about it. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know
still
what
talk
it is.
about it. I don't know why.
I don't know. But anyways, any parting thoughts, guys? Anything you want to say, Ajab, to the viewers?
I don't know. Maybe we can have a minute or two to talk. Who do you think is going? Who are the stars to
For the
watch?
oh yeah, that's right, that's
Who are
right.
the stars to watch?
I think
Well,
there's going to be a new name after this tournament. That is
I
going
don't
to
think the way we consume football now, we already know a lot of those stars, and it's just for me, it's just who's gonna shine more. You
So
know,
you think there's not going to be a Chris Katongo? There's not going to be a surprise
I,
package?
I think there will be a surprise
was there
package.
a surprise package last one?
No, last one there was. I'm talking
Last
about
one
Chris
there was
Katongo when
Yeah,
Zambia
yeah.
won the
No, I'm just
Zambia
tournament.
telling
won.
you the
No,
way
no,
we
Yeah, in
consume.
2012, right?
no.
So the
Last
way we
tournament,
consume.
Last tournament, Abubakar was top scorer. Mane was best
Manu was
player. Mendy was best
I mean,
goalkeeper.
were you
So
surprised
yeah,
Abubakar
it
was
wasn't
top scorer?
surprising. Yeah, so
I think this year, um, even though Algeria may underperform, the guy from Algeria, the midfielder, the slim guy, has he?
Morocco.
Oh, Morocco,
We're
sorry.
talking about Morocco. No, Morocco will not underperform. We're talking about
Morocco,
Unai. But
yeah,
yeah,
he will play well. But
another
I
thing.
think some of the local players, somebody from South Africa or Zambia, is going
Yeah.
to impress me.
Another thing with football nowadays is that they punishing those good players who don't score goals.
Yeah,
They're punishing them a lot. They
yeah,
don't give them the credit they deserve.
that's correct.
Yeah, it's just the way. I mean, it's the way people consume football nowadays,
Yeah.
the culture nowadays, right?
That's true.
Because some people look at football now and say that, oh no, teams defend better nowadays.
They do.
Mhm.
You don't see a solo run, solo goals anymore like that. Teams just
It's
defend
tough.
better nowadays.
It's tough. The defender rather hacks you down before you get close to his box.
No,
I mean,
there's no
there's
space
no
even.
fouls. There's
They don't.
nobody
There's
does
no
that anymore,
the
right?
way
You
things
cannot
are
see.
compact. There's no space.
Yeah,
They don't give you that
yeah.
space anymore.
You cannot see a Maradona type run again, or Diego
There's no
or
space.
Pele type,
Yep.
run through. Messi did that 2 3 years ago. It cannot happen again because the way everybody plays now is different. So I mean I think you're right. There might be no surprises, but I think there's going to be. I really feel that there will be a surprise. We will come out of the AFCON with a new name that everybody's talking about. African football never disappoints.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, go for it.
What new name came out from the World Cup?
From the World Cup,
This World Cup.
Enzo Fernandez.
it, I mean,
Yeah.
Argentina had so much.
Mm,
Enzo Fernandez is a new
Enzo,
name. We
even
who-
even
only
even
only only those who watched maybe the Portuguese league or maybe watched the Champions League knew about
knew
a
about
kid.
him ahead of
Yeah, he
time.
came and he wasn't even a
okay.
starter. The first
What?
game he didn't play. He
Yeah.
came in the
What?
second game
Okay.
and the
Yeah,
rest.
you might be right. Right. You might be right. Right. But
Mhm.
the way we consume football now,
Mm-hmm.
there's no name you're gonna call in football that people don't
We
know
don't know.
anymore, right? So
Well, yeah,
someone might have a good World Cup or a good Nations Cup, but we already know them. It's
I want to ask a question. How many people? When I say how many people, I'm not talking about those who spend a lot of time. We have football fans there who just watch football. How many of them knew about Sofian Amrabat prior to
before
his
before
performance at the
oh
World
yeah,
Cup?
yeah.
before the World Cup.
No, yeah, you're
He-
right.
and
I'll
those
give
are
you
those
that.
are
I'll
some
give you
of the
that.
things that I think we're going
I'll
to
give you
get.
that.
Sebastian Haller has been good for Cote d'Ivoire. He might still impress. It's a name we know, but the guy in Morocco, Unahi or whatever,
Unai.
yeah,
But he's a
that
midfielder. He's not the kind of assist
yeah,
guy or scorer guy, so he might disappear
doesn't
in the
work.
thin air.
Bro,
When we're looking at
bro,
this thing, we'll
let
probably
me
go for those
bro,
scorers, you know.
let me tell you something, man. You know, Morocco was so successful in World Cup just also because of the style of football they actually play. It's
That's
more
what
like
I said.
the
Yeah.
European and all that. But in Africa, guess what? The game is physical, bro.
Yeah.
So you're
That's what I
gonna
said.
see
I said, what happened is Morocco will not sit back to play Tanzania. Morocco was comfortable sitting back against Portugal
Yeah.
or Belgium or Spain.
They're gonna
But
have
Morocco will not come to Africa. Now it's already a mindset thing. Okay, now they know we're the top best in Africa. Let's go and play some football. And then you meet someone who plays home football for Melody Sundowns. He comes
yeah,
to play the football. So okay, let's play today, So it's
football.
gonna be a different ball game for sure. But we know for sure people like Victor Osimhen. I know Victor Osimhen is going to get you at least 3-4 goals this tournament for sure. You
You
know,
think
that's what I think.
with no midfield,
Oh no, not
People
that
are
they don't
complaining
have
about no
midfield.
Nigeria
midfield or
doesn't
no
really have a
defense.
good
That's something I
midfield.
wanted to say. They
They
say
scored a lot
Nigeria
of
has a
goals
bad
in
defense.
qualifier.
They have a poor keeper. The
Yeah,
defense is not bad. They only conceded 4 goals in the eliminatory. The defense is not bad. It's just the goalkeeper. When you're a defender and the person behind you is a heart attack, you're gonna have problems. That's where the problem is. But defense-wise, they don't have bad defenders. Only Anna plays well for Nottingham Forest. The other
true.
guy that plays left back is also good at Porto, the Zanussi guy. They have the other kid who plays in Fenerbahce, very good. Centre back, Kevin Bassi is not bad. He plays well for
Everybody is
Fulham.
not bad.
He's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
bad. The other Ajayi guy plays in how do you call it? Um, uh,
They
he
just had
plays for West Brom.
the
They have
two
another
good.
guy who plays Trust Edcom. Trust
Yeah.
Edcom.
Ekong. Yeah,
He's
he
not. He's
plays.
not. He's not good, but he's not horrible. They
Joshua.
have the
The two
other
games I
center
watched.
back, Kenneth Omero. So they're not really bad. The problem is, I think Pesera has a problem bringing 11 guys together.
Yeah,
So you cannot play a team where you have defense, two defensive midfielders, and everybody else is a striker. You're accommodating strikers to play on the wings. It's not going to work. He's
maybe.
trying to impress all the attacking priorities he has. So that's why I was saying that if I think the injury to Sadiq and Boniface is going to be comfortable because I don't think the coach will be comfortable benching Boniface or comfortable benching Osimhen.
Man,
But now the only star person you actually have
it's
is
Osimhen.
Osimhen. The other guys can actually come from the bench. So it will help them now to have a 4-3-3 system where you can actually have traditional wingers,
There
maybe
you go.
someone like Moses or Chikwueze or how do you call the other guy? You have Moses or Chikwueze or
The
Lookman, and then you have this man as a target man. So it could help Nigeria in that way. If Pesera does that, I see Nigeria making it right to the final. But if it focuses on its 4-2-4 traditional football, Nigeria will not go anywhere.
But what is this thing about Nigeria this year coming up with a coach who is not local based? I mean,
No, he's been. Yeah, I don't know. Since after last AFCON, when Guavon left after the Ghana, when Ghana eliminated them for the World Cup, they
yes,
brought this Pesera guy, and the guy, I don't know. To me, I watch football. I watch African football somehow. To me, when you watch Nigeria play, you can't consistently be struggling against Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Guinea-Bissau
Exactly.
consistently with all the players. If it's a one-off thing, yeah. But if you do it consistently, I think there's a problem. There's something. If you're doing the same thing and it's not working, try something else.
and that's why I think they're gonna have a tough time. They might disappoint quite a bit in this
And
nation
a lot that the reason I'm seeing Nigeria making it through to maybe quarterfinals or semis is because even though they have their talent, most people have given up on them.
on
So
them.
it might ease the pressure on them.
Okay. Well, you said the same thing about Egypt. So let's see how it pans out, right? Egypt can sail under the radar. Nigeria can do the same thing. But I think, guys, I think we've had an amazing conversation. I think we should close it now. The opening ceremony has already started for the Nations Cup. We've had a really, really great conversation. It has taken some time to get us here, but we are here. And football trio, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Any parting words, Tru3lion, Ajab?
Oh no, thanks very much. I do
Thanks.
appreciate you guys, and I do appreciate you guys taking time to make this happen. So we will have some great history on this platform.
Great.
Perfect.
Ajab?
Thank you, everyone, man. Thanks, the viewers and everything and everyone.
All right.
Have a great week, and let's hop into the opening ceremony and see what it's going to give us.
All right. Let's go. African football at its best. Enjoy.
Yeah, take care, man. Bye
Thank you
bye.
guys for logging in. I appreciate it. Share. Make sure everybody joins in next time. And of course, follow us on the various channels. We'll come back with more information. Thank you again. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye
Catch you
bye.
on the other side.